Yo, what's up, children of Earth? Welcome to another episode of Five Deep. And has anybody noticed that this intro, this from, is it 30 to 0, is it 20 to 0? Does it seem to like be getting slower? Has anybody noticed that?
No, there is a little bit of, I guess the cadence changes, doesn't it? But I've always noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Always done that.
it lags in the middle for some
And
reason.
what I've
Seem
noticed
like
as
it
well is
lags in the
behind
middle.
the scenes, we're all there like budgery guards or like chickens bobbing our head. But guys, welcome to another episode of Five Deep. It's great to have you all here with us. 5 podcasters from around the world getting together each week to fulfill our dreams through accountability. And one thing that we used to do once upon a time, when it was just us 5 in a room without you people watching us, is we used to get together every week and we put a person in the hot seat. And we would drill them and we would beat them and we would savagely abuse them until they gave in. And this was something that we used to do week in, week out. And whilst we've been doing this with you guys, we haven't done it recently. So what we said we would do is we will go down the route of getting everybody in the hot seat. So over the next 5 weeks, we're going to be individually being drilled. So if there's any of you out there that's watching us on YouTube that would like to ask our hot seat person a question this week, Harmony is in the hot seat. We're going to be talking to her in a minute, and we're going to be drilling her in a non-sexual way.
Oh, I heard that.
So how is it, everybody? We'll start with you, Harmony. What's your high and low of the week, or anything that you've noticed? How has your week been?
Pretty amazing. I actually, I'm really thrilled with this. Tomorrow will be a month that I've been doing this 16/8 fast. Why are you messaging us and why are you not in the call? What am I missing?
Lee has got issues with his internet, so he's not able to be online. So he's just.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah. So I'm just impressed with the major, like, pretty rapid results from 30 days of 16/8 fast. I have spent my entire life eating like I'm a late night craving. I don't know if anybody out there has that, or a bearded biker. When did he become a biker? Or, I would get a lot of cravings at like 9 or 10 o'clock at night. And I would get up and years ago, I would eat a giant bowl of cereal, and something in my head, I thought, oh, cereal, it's not that bad for you. And then it turned into a tomato sandwich, just always eating late. And I just thought, if I'm making healthy choices when I eat late, it should be okay, right? Well, the 16/8 fast is exactly what it sounds like. I don't eat for 16 hours and I have an 8-hour window of opportunity to eat. And they say you can eat whatever you want, but I decided at the beginning, kind of without even thinking about it, that going into this fast, I was going to make healthy decisions on what I ate. And I think because I've dealt with these fibroids and, just really have read up a lot on them and how you can naturally shrink them, and, just feeling that empowerment of taking my health into my own hands has been awesome. So of course I read up on what feeds tumors, what shrinks tumors, the whole thing. And processed food obviously is not good. Processed meat, processed cheese, all of the processed food in general, all of the things that you would think, sugar, all that stuff. Cheerios are good at midnight. Yeah. So I just kind of eliminated that. So I naturally have stopped eating mayonnaise. I've naturally stopped. It was nothing forced. I was just totally intuitive. I have made jokes with you guys and with my other group that my kitchen probably thinks I died because I'm hardly in there anymore. I'm just not eating as much. And if I am, I've done the food prep. So it's fresh fruit, fresh veggies, really ethically sourced protein, because processed meat feeds with the fibroids. So it's not so much for me that I was trying to lose weight or trying to make my muscles pop or any of that shit. It wasn't really about vanity. My main focus was the fibroids. And I've just kind of blown away in 30 days, how I've changed my body. Like, I mean, I went and shopped a little bit today, and it was the first time I weighed myself today. It was the first time I've tried on clothes in many, many months. And I literally went for my normal size clothes, and they did not absolutely fit. And this is a change in 30 days. I can't stress this enough. So my next accountability group through the Bliss Broker is going to be accountability around eating and not so much movement. Obviously, I want to support that in people, but I think I've experienced such magic in shifting your diet in such a short time that I want to share that, obviously. So yeah, I'm literally in the size that I was in when I was in 8th grade.
Can I just say something there, Harmony, about your body, right? can I just say that it looks a lot better than the body that is on your TV screen behind? It looks like you're in a morgue at the moment. What the fuck is that?
It's a meditation channel. You guys know I love that. He's
Yeah, I
meditating.
know, but it doesn't look very meditational. It looks like you're in watching something in a morgue there. It looks like there's a body laid out on a slab there.
I love that it always gets your attention. I've actually on purpose tried to find the freakiest ones to put back there so you'll notice it. Anyway, so no lows. Total high. I'm super fucking proud of myself for like taking the initiative, taking my health into my own hands, and then feeling immediately in such a short time. 30 days is nothing. So I'm going to keep going with it. I decided tomorrow will be a month, but I'm going to keep going. It's been working for me. So definitely the high is just fucking setting a goal and accomplishing it. Like that always feels good.
Well done. What about you, Howard? What's your week been like? Any highs and lows that you want to report to Down to Earth?
Well, hello from the space station, International Space Station. No, the week. Damn freaking microphone. Sorry, it's falling off the table here. The week was good. I guess a high would be, I had a good time at the wedding I talked about. Little Sam was like the star of the show. I didn't want him to outshine the bride, but he did in his own. He did in his own way, and he's always going after the little girls and everything like that. You know, hey, he's only 3 people, so I don't mean that going after little girls. So, it was good times. I'm been following up with people that I've given the pre-workout to, and gotten good feedback, and they've actually had their friends actually asked to try it. So it's actually more people than I expected. So, it's going well. Lows. Can't really think of any lows at the moment.
Hey, love it.
I'm sure there is one, but I can't think of it. So it's probably a good thing then if I can't think of it. So
I love it. I love it when I hear that. What about you, Rodney? What's your week been like, mate?
Work and relaxing, and I've been having some really good conversations with people online, behind the scenes, just kind of almost like a purging of things mentally and emotionally. So that's really been refreshing for me. I mean, that's really, now I'm thinking about it. While you guys were talking, I was like, man, was I even taking note of the week just went by? I wasn't even taking note of any highs or lows. It's one of those weeks that just flowed by. Now, the counter harmony, I've added a couple of extra scoops of mayonnaise to every meal. I haven't done any movement, and I can't fit in my clothes from 30 days either. We need balance.
It's bulking season, Rodney. Bulking season. That's all I got to say.
There you go.
At least he's been honest. Well, my high of the week, I've had a really good week. Again, my high of the week is I managed to reach nearly 6 miles. I'd done a run the other day, and it was about 5.7 miles. So I was really, really pleased about that. And on the downside of it, I managed to get a calf strain. I tried running through what I thought was cramp, but it was obviously a strain, and I carried on going. Like I was running around the lanes like Rocky, the pains on his face, and I got to the end, and I just thought, shit the bed. I think I have probably done something. I got in a cold bath, and that was more painful than the actual running with cramp or strain. And so I haven't run since Wednesday. I've given myself some grace, and I've just literally I went on a long walk today there and stretched out, and it's feeling a lot better. So tomorrow is the day. But I would say my the low of the week is the fact that it's actually a high as well. I'm actually beginning to miss my running. When I'm not going on it, I'm actually missing. I was savage when I couldn't do it today, and when I couldn't do it on Friday. And I'm actually getting to a stage now where I'm enjoying running again. So that's a good thing, but it's also a little bit sad that I couldn't do it today. But I'll be back there tomorrow, and just starting to not push things and take each step as it comes. But really, really looking forward to everything that's coming my way with that. Really.
Love it.
So, are we going to chuck harmony in the hot seat? Do you reckon, guys? Let's do this. And I got a feeling there might be some swearing and there might be some crying, there might be some tears, but we're just giving Harmony walk out because we're going to bust her ass.
You never know what you're going to get with me, for sure.
So, Howard, do you want to literally tell the group there? I'm going to leave you as the chief, chairperson here. Do you want to tell the group what we used to do in our accountability, in our hot seat?
Yeah, so each person for a particular week would be in the hot seat. They would say anything that was, they feel that being limited, if they were having an issue with something. We talk about the goals we were trying to go after and what we were trying to achieve, and all the other people would then give them feedback. And Harmony had the trademark on the ball busting on us.
Oh, sorry.
The air raid sirens. And yeah, and it was, in all seriousness, it's never like being rude or being an asshole. We did it just strictly because we were giving constructive criticism. And yeah.
I definitely have a Dr. Phil style. There's no doubt about it.
Well,
oh God.
I'm trying to do my Dr.
Don't do it.
Did Dr. Phil have a stroke? Was that?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Howard time.
Dr. Phil.
Is he a zombie? What's happening?
Howard, Dr. Zombie Phil.
It did make me laugh because Howard's always given these impressions on Voxer, and somehow he makes me and Lee, which are both very much English, sound like a Scottish pirate. And I don't know how me and Lee
sound like I can get, man. I can't do that English accent.
Oh shit!
So Harmony, do you want to tell us?
Wait a minute. Now I was gonna say, can we get her make her bigger than the rest of us, so she's gonna be in the hot seat?
Din 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 din. Oh. No,
you, Mark.
It's all about. I don't know, Rodney. This is your bag, mate.
So whatever you did, tell Harmony she could do it.
Yeah, press the big man and the two little people. Now she's disappeared completely. Look.
Oh shit!
I think it's it's the fourth icon.
No, that's me. It's all about me again. Yeah,
maybe because you set it up. I don't know.
We are very much amateur people here. I do apologize.
We're learning as we go. Yeah, I don't need to be big. I've got a big personality.
I'll tell you what we'll do. Look, I'll put, when Harmony starts talking, I will put her in the hot seat if we can. No, we can. I don't know how to do it, people. Not to worry.
Wait a minute. Let me see what's going on.
Anyway, Harmony, do you want to I know how to do it.
Oh, hey!
We've got Harmony up on the screen. She's all by our lonesome on the screen. Is that all right, Howard? Is that all right, Rodney?
Well, you don't want me to be by myself, do you?
Yeah,
it's better looking at her than looking at you, Mark. So
anyway, Harmony. So do you want to tell us a little bit about, what's going on in your life at the moment and some, issues that you've got going on that you want help with or anything like that?
I think the main thing that I wanted to talk about today was my ebook. I really would love feedback from anybody listening, even if that is in the way of putting comments and you watch the replay or you message me on whatever social media platform. But I want feedback about how to go about doing this ebook. And I would love, if you were going to purchase an ebook from me, what would you like to see in it? You know what I mean? Like I've never done an ebook before, and I know how to do the food and I know how to do the recipes, but I guess I'm trying to be clear on what people may want from the ebook, knowing who I am. Does that make sense?
Well, first of all, tell us a little bit about your ebook. That's probably the first thing to talk about.
Okay, so 1 in 3 women suffer with fibroids. Fibroids are generally benign tumors that grow in your uterus, and they can be anywhere down in that area, and they can cause no problems or they can cause a lot of problems. And it's a big point of contention for a lot of women. Like I said, 1 in 3 women have them. So a lot of women end up getting myomectomies, which is where they basically slice your stomach open and, pull these out. A lot of women have to get, well, they don't have to, but they are suggested to get hysterectomies, a whole slew of things that possibly they don't need. And so since I have 3 fibroids that are generally, they're about the size of a large grapefruit together.
Okay.
I don't think that they're that big right now. I feel like I'm going to set up an ultrasound appointment. I feel like I'm shrinking them. So that's pretty amazing. But the ebook was originally going to be just food I love. That's kind of like middle of the road, healthy, but comfortable, you know? And then once I started realizing that I could probably shrink these fibroids and I was scared to death of getting any kind of surgery, the ebook, I had an epiphany to turn the ebook into a book that will help women basically eat fibroid friendly foods that has the potential to shrink their fibroids naturally, but also tastes really amazing. And then obviously a perk of that would be great skin. Oh shit. Sorry. Behind the scenes. Great skin. It's my ring light fell. But like just losing weight and in general, just feeling good about your body. And that's what I want for women, because so much of how we show up in the world has to do with how we look. And, you know, whether we want to admit it or not. Yeah, I get it. Like, you know, size isn't supposed to matter. But if you are a person that's carrying 20 extra pounds, tell that person that size doesn't matter. You know what I mean? If they're not somebody that is comfortable with having extra weight. And so long story short, the ebook has turned from a book of just foods that I love to foods that are satiating to a woman's appetite, but can also help in not feeding these tumors so that they continue to grow. So there's going to be 12 recipes. This is how I had it originally set up. Basically 4 breakfast, 4 lunch, 4 dinner. All of those can be interchangeable. And then some just kitchen hacks that I've done as far as like maybe some shortcuts and little tips and tricks that maybe a lot of people don't know when it comes to how to create food. And I think that because food is so easy for me to prepare, I just assume that it wouldn't be valuable to anybody else if I sold it. But I think that just because it's easy for me doesn't mean that it's easy for everybody. So I feel like I just finally had to start telling myself that I think a lot of women could really benefit from the knowledge that I have about food, just from being a line cook, working in the food and beverage industry for a very long time, also loving food, and then also being a 47-year-old woman who's going to be going into perimenopause and then menopause. And there's just so many things that I think can benefit women because, you know, diet, whether I didn't want to admit it for a very long time, but what we eat plays a big role in not only how we look, but how we feel. So, and I know Howard and Rodney will contest to that. Like it's not so much about, I don't think people put enough thought in the shit that they put down their throat, whether they're drinking it or eating it. I think that, I don't think that they understand it contributes to potentially, you know, anxiety is associated with the wrong foods. Not being able to go to sleep at night is associated with shitty food. And so I want to make the ebook have a mini bio about why my ebook is going to exist in the first place. And then as you go through each recipe, talk a little bit about how I came up with this recipe, and then how the foods in each recipe can benefit you down the road.
Brilliant. I mean, first of all, I just want to say, you know, you've been talking about this ebook now to us for about the last, I'd say 3 or 4 months, possibly even longer than that. And what I like what you've done is how you've had these issues with the fibroids. And we've said this before, how you've made a shitty situation, tried to make the best situation from it. Yeah. Right. And how you've taken it on the chin, how you've tried to self-diagnose this. You're trying to do this rather than taking the drugs and going down that route, and how you have decided to take on board this in your book. So I just want to say fantastic and well done for you for that. And I love the way how you're niching this book down to, you know, for these issues, and I think that's really, really good. Is there anything anybody else would like to say in the group there before we answer her question at all?
Are we asking questions now, or we just?
Yeah, I mean, go you ahead, Howard. You know, you just basically what exactly was the question that you was asking us then, Harmony? First of all, you were saying, you know, what would we want to see in the book, or?
Yeah, like I just want like to reach out to you guys, and then anybody who's watching now or going to watch the replay, like I would just love any kind of feedback on what you would like to see in a PDF form ebook. Like, do you want to, like how detailed, or do you just want the hit and run? Do you just want the recipes? Like, I guess any kind of feedback would be awesome. I mean, there's no way I can go wrong with it, but I guess in a nutshell, what I want is for people to see the benefit. What I want people to gain from this is to obviously be able to eat really good food that tastes good and doesn't make them want to stop at McDonald's. You know what I mean? But also I would love to be able to, in a mini way, because it's going to be such a small book, teach people the benefits of food and the power of food. That would be a really great takeaway for me. But so any kind of fee, I mean, it would just be great to hear what anybody's got to say about what you might want to see in an ebook if you were to buy a PDF form ebook.
Cool. Well, because we're chucking the shit there at Harmony, I think what we'll do is, if anybody's got a question to ask, we'll raise your hand and we'll let you guys in, because I always end up taking over and just and just taking over. So if there's anybody out there that would like to ask any questions there about Harmony's ebook, get on the questions in the comments there. Send her a question. We'll bring that in there. What I would like to say there, Harmony, I mean, I've never ever read one of these books, these ebooks, to be honest with you. I don't generally read books. So who are you going with? How are you going about doing this? That's the first thing I'd like to ask.
You mean making it?
Yeah.
Canva. So Canva has some really amazing templates for doing an ebook, and I have loads of photos. You guys know I love taking pictures. So I already have the photos. I already have the stories in my head because it's coming from an authentic place in my life and my life story. What I'm going to have to get specific around is the actual recipe itself, because I make everything off of taste. And I do a little tinge of that and a little spot of this. And you know what I mean? I don't really ever measure anything. I have a pretty wise palate. And so I just generally will make things off of top of my head. So I am going to have to hone it down and actually do these recipes in a way that I can actually have measurements, so that I can offer these measurements to the people that are reading it. You know what I mean? Because they're going to need to know, because they're not going off of instinct like I am. So it looks like a book. It's just digital. So when you download the PDF form book, it's going to actually, the page will actually flip. So when you download the PDF, it's going to be $11.11. When you download that off of my website, it's going to come right to you as a file into your email, and you click it, download it it'll be mobile friendly. It will be laptop friendly. And you will look at it just as if you were looking at a book right in your hand. It's just in PDF form. So there would be a little tab down at the bottom when you're ready to go to the next page. You hit the arrow, it'll go to the next page, and there will be full color photos. It's going to look like a book. So it will have a front cover. It will have a title page. It will have all the credits. It will have, like I said, beautiful photos, because I love taking photos. Anybody who follows me on Instagram knows I really, really value photography. So there'll be photos of me with food, photos of the actual food as I'm in process cutting it and putting it together, and any utensils I may use. There'll be pictures of that. So it'll be a really like you're basically in the kitchen with me. That's how I want it to feel. And then obviously the most important part is that the food is fucking fabulous. I mean, I have been a foodie my whole life. I was exposed at a very young age to a large plethora of foods, and I never turned anything down except for a lima bean. I won't eat a lima bean, not interested. But other than that, I pretty much eat everything. And I just feel like I want to share that knowledge and the joy, because I think creating food is an art form. And I make, after my life experience with food, and then being in the food and beverage industry for a very long time, and having the awesome experience of being able to work with fresh veggies and fresh seafood, and just, I learned how to cook really, really great food. My mom's been a chef most of my life. So I want to share that with people. And then obviously the added bonus of, helping with your overall body and how you feel when you eat a meal. Like, so you eat a meal, you feel like shit. If you go to McDonald's and you get a number one, it's going to taste really good when it's going down. I am never going to argue with that. Give me a warm filet of fish with extra tartar sauce. Boom, I'm down. Orange high C, that's my jam. I'll dip the French fries right in the fucking tartar sauce. It's amazing. Yeah, but 5 seconds after you eat it, you feel like you need a nap. So that's the joy of the food that I make, is that I love food. I love for it to taste good on my tongue, but I also love to feel satiated and not tired after I've eaten. You know what I mean? So all of these meals are not going to make you feel like shit after you eat them. I can promise you that.
So why do an ebook? Why did you feel that you wanted to do an ebook rather than not do like a vlog or something like that?
Well, because an ebook is a hit and run. A lot of people don't. It's just, I guess, a different method of delivery. And I think with a PDF, it would be such an easy file for somebody to go to my website and download. And it doesn't require them getting an alert in their email or anything like that. I can literally put the PDF link on Facebook in the fibroid, the fibroid group. I can put the PDF link there. They can click it, takes it right to it. Boom. They can put in their credit card or their PayPal, $11.11. It's immediately delivered to their email. It's just, I feel like it was, as you guys know, we've talked about in the entrepreneurial world that, say point A is the starting point and point B is where they give you their credit card, whatever it is you're selling, a service or a product. The shorter you can make that distance, the more success. So if somebody's got to hit this and then got to get a mailing list on that, then that's going to take them over here. And then that's finally going to open up to what products you have. They're already on some other website. They're already over it. So doing a PDF is just a quick and easy way, because PDFs are like anything. They're never going to go out of style. People still are very active reading things and viewing things in PDF form. So I just thought it would be an easy medium, I guess.
And the thing is as well, I mean, I don't know about you, Howard and Rodney there, but whenever I do cook from a recipe, it's always a pain in the ass having to find that recipe book in the kitchen, and it's generally about that thick, and having to flick through and find, the if it's there on your phone in the kitchen, I suppose it's an easier option, isn't it?
And the cool thing about a PDF, which is so awesome, if you are somebody that wants something tangible in your hand, you can send it to your printer and print it right up.
Yeah.
So it's not, it'll print easily from PDF form, even if it's just one page, So I'm excited about it. I'm scared to death. I definitely have been putting it off, because you know what we do when we're trying to create something new and level up. It's unknown territory for me. I don't doubt on any level that if I give it my all and I market it and I share it and I have people who love and support me share it as well, I think that it would do well. But I definitely am notating that I've been a little avoidant, and we all in this group know why we do that.
Rodney.
Yeah, I was going to ask, because you have such a way with words and your personality is really good. You are thinking about doing it audio, because talking to people through these recipes, laughing and things like that. And
that's cool.
Right, fuckers, you got to crack the egg.
But you know what I mean? To hear the excitement in your voice when you're explaining things. And if you, to take it a step further, when Mark was talking about the phone, you could set that phone down right next to the counter.
Oh, that makes me excited, Rodney, because I can actually, my Prelude to Expansion package that I sold for women, that was a private locked portion of my website. It's still available to be a part of right now. I could do that. They could get on and purchase $11.11, and that would give them access to a video version of it. That's a great idea.
Cook along with you. Yes. Invite people to cook, like do TikToks and stuff, like, hey, cook along with me, do a duet, whatever, where you're cooking along, you're trying out my recipes, whatever.
I love that. So, well, I am trying to get to 1,000. You can't go live on TikTok until you're at 1,000. I've been diligent, and it's not taken long. I'm already at like almost 630 or 640, something like that right now. So once I can go live on TikTok, that's going to be a whole new territory for me.
I just warn you though, you might want to consider what you do put on TikTok or YouTube. Cooking Up with Harmony, you may get a totally different audience. Just warning you.
Are they paying me? Do I need an OnlyFans?
No, I want about cooking up. They'll be there with the spoons and. You know what I mean? They're just slapping your wrist. That's right. Yeah. So yeah, definitely. I think that there is a big, quite a lot of big audience that you can get just rather than just doing the book. You could.
Yeah. Nonconformist said it's a great idea. So yes, that's awesome.
Yeah. That's not the only thing Nonconformist said though. Did you read the whole
cut?
Great idea. Good idea there, Rodney. You need to get a little bit of something from this, don't you? I mean, I want to hand over
It is a great idea.
to Howard there a minute, though, because I mean, what I'm finding really interesting and really excited about here is we've now got 2 people in the group that have produced something that they're trying to, they're in the process of producing and selling. So what advice would you give to Harmony there, Howard, about, she's got this ebook that she's in the process of doing. You've been in this situation before with your protein powder and what you're going through at the moment with your workout, your pre-workouts. What advice would you give Harmony for, this stage that she's at the moment?
Well, let's see. I made some notes here. So one thing I want to say is I like the idea of, the PDF, because if somebody needs to get the ingredients in the grocery store, then they have it right there on their phone. Yeah. And then I don't know how you structured it, but I think you said you had 4 breakfasts, 4 lunch, and 4 dinners. List the ingredients they need first. So then if they're in the store, they don't have to dig through it. Wait, you need, let me read through it. You just list it first. Boom, they have a shopping list right there that they can grab for each.
I love that. Maybe I could do like an index.
Something like
so have the recipes labeled in the back and take it, right to one page where it's shopping list. I can actually put it in there as a shopping list.
And Howard, if she was to do a podcast for the ingredients, what would she sound like there, do you reckon?
Well, this is Texas Harmony. What we need here is some artisan bread. Oh, no flour or anything like that. No grains. Oh, no. We need the sprouted bread. And then we need organic avocados.
Avocados.
Not orgasmic, organic. Orgasmic's beneficial too, but that's a whole different book that we're going to be focusing on later. That's a different book. It's a different podcast too. That's after hours.
This could work, Harmony.
No mayonnaise. Mayonnaise is horrible. The only place mayonnaise deserves to be is in the trash. Mayonnaise is shit.
Oh, I do love mayonnaise, though.
When people write books, they put it out to Audible. Not always do they do it themselves. So you could get actually Texas Harmony to do the Audible version of it if you wanted to, the Harmony.
No, thanks. I'm good. If it was the comedy version, but I do fucking love him. Not orgasmic avocados.
I was before I forget. Also, maybe each recipe, since you're basing it on your fibroids, like give the benefits of each recipe. Like if a particular recipe is lower in salt, then give like a bullet point, like low salt or high fiber, and this one is like low sugar, or maybe so people kind of get an idea. Like if they're on a low sugar diet, maybe 3 of the recipes that have a little bit higher sugar, even though you said sugar feeds fibroids, but it's just an example. I mean, then that they kind of know like the benefits of each recipe. If it has bananas in it, maybe it's got a high potassium or something like that. So, is there anything
I've
else?
learned a lot about food, y'all. Processed meat, like as much as I could eat my weight in processed, like deli meat. But it's every single medical journal that I read relating to fibroids was like, stay away from the processed meat. So I've been mourning that a little bit, because to me, I am a sandwich girl. I love a good fucking sandwich, grilled, not grilled, cold, hot, doesn't matter. Like I want all the meat, all the cheese, all the Duke's mayonnaise. And, it's been really interesting. If people could be inside my brain and know how much I have loved eating all the food my whole life, then to know what I'm doing now with food and how I don't want to say restricting myself, just shifted my mindset about it a little bit, they would be like, oh, well, then if she can do it, I can do it too.
Yeah. And that is the reason why I became a vegetarian, was because I realized that I was eating too much meat, and it started out with processed meat. Seeing the research that people were saying about, how much meat. I'm never ever going to tell anybody. I know we have a bit of a shits and giggles and banter about meat being murder and all that sort of stuff. But, you just look at how much meat people consume. Get up on a Sunday morning in the UK, people have a fried up breakfast, bacon, sausages, and then they go and have like a roast dinner at lunchtime and a ham sandwich. And do you really need to be eating that amount of processed meats? It's just not good for you.
Yeah, and that's why I've been really smart about where I get my meat. So like specifically, I bought some bacon. I did a haul, my Trader Joe's haul, so people could see what I purchased. And I bought bacon. but I bought, ethically sourced bacon, and it was naturally the way that they produced this particular bacon had lower sodium. It was ethically sourced, as I mentioned. So that's huge for me. I'm never, ever, as I mentioned in my video, ever going to break up with bacon. Me and bacon are bonded for life. I also bought some really beautiful ground beef that is a lean, ethically resourced ground beef, because I'm never going to quit eating beef, to at least at the stage I'm in now. Chicken is something that I've started gearing away from because I've been learning a lot about chicken. And, I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but if anybody wants to know what I've learned about chicken, feel free to message me. I'll be happy to find me on Instagram at the Bliss Broker. It's right here. I will tell you what I've learned about chicken. But I feel like for me, it comes down to intuitive eating. So not only is it about learning what causes these tumors to grow and what naturally causes these tumors to shrink. So for example, a lot of the foods that causes these tumors, amongst this just doesn't apply to fibroids that are benign generally.
Yeah.
It's also all tumors. But like tomatoes and garlic and, those type of things are so good for your body. So I've been eating kimchi, I've been eating pickles, I've been eating olives, but obviously in small doses because those can be high in sodium. But I don't know. I just feel like really it's about being intuitive with what you're eating and being mindful of, if you eat something, even if it's for one day, be mindful of how you feel after you've put that in your mouth. Because as well as I do, we could each list 3 things right now that if you ate it, even if you think it's something semi-healthy, but if you ate it in a small dose of it and you feel your eyes get like they're tired, quit eating it. You know what I mean? Like, there's definitely, it's just, we don't pay attention to that because we don't associate food with emotion.
Yeah.
And the bottom line of it is food. This is why it's a tricky situation to do an ebook, because food is it's such a part of our lives from the time that we come out of the womb. Grandma made Sunday dinner, mom and dad and the kids sat around and had dinner together every night. And this is what mom made. And, food is so emotional. So that's why I'm putting my heart and soul to this ebook. And I'm not only going to be putting recipes, but I'm going to be sharing stories in there too, just short stories about why I love this food, or how, because I'm going to be using herbs. I'm going to be using spices. I'm not just going to be it's not going to be canned bullshit. And they say when you go to the grocery store, if you want to shop properly, you go on the outskirts of the grocery store. There's no need to go in the middle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what I'm going to be using is all natural. I made the most killer cauliflower pizza over the weekend. I was blown away how good it was. It was the first time I'd ever made one. And it was delicious, man. It's on my Instagram. If somebody wants to go see what it looks like, it's at the Bliss Broker on Instagram. It was good. And it was all fresh ingredients.
Because it was funny, because I saw you put that post up about the cauliflower pizza, and I don't know whether it was because I was watching you or what, but on TikTok, something flagged up where this woman handed her husband or partner, whoever it was, a cauliflower pizza. And this guy was Italian. Have you seen that TikTok?
Nobody. Did he slap it out of her hand?
And he was like, what is this? And she goes, oh, it's cauliflower dough. And he goes, oh, no. He goes, and he just like, you could chuck that shit in the bin, like, trying to tell an Italian that you should be using cauliflower, whatever it is, for the dough. He was just like not having any of it.
Obviously, seriously, there's nothing that beats a fucking greasy slice of pizza. I don't give a shit. I'm never going to not eat. Oh, projected release date. It's going to be in August, but go to my, theblissbroker.com, and there'll be a pop-up that'll come up. Pop your email in there. You won't get spammed, I promise, but pop your email in there. And that's how, if I put out a new blog post or I put out any updates on anything that is for sale on my website, it'll immediately come as an alert to your email. So, that's what I would recommend. That way, when it does go live, it'll be live on my website. And then if you are subscribed to my page, then you will get a notification, but it will be next month, closer to the end of next month. But, yeah, I'm never going to not want to stop at a place if I'm traveling and get a hot slice of pizza. Come on. And I'm not going to deny myself that. I've made it very clear to everybody that I've talked to. I'm a foodie. There's a lot of really great places to eat in my neck of the woods and when I travel, and I'm not going to deny myself. If I go out somewhere and I want to get a big scoop of ice cream, or I want to get a greasy cheeseburger or whatever, I'm going to do that. If I want to order fries, it's just, for me, it's important because 90% of the time I eat at home. And so I feel like if the food's not in my house, it doesn't taunt me. You know what I mean? So I'm saving, and it makes it even better because I'm saving that shit for when I go out into the world. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be here in my home.
So what are you doing to market this book then?
Obviously making reels on Instagram. You guys know I'm very active on Instagram, and then also have been very active on TikTok. So I've been thoroughly enjoying the connections that I've made on TikTok. I've been thoroughly enjoying turning those TikToks into reels on Instagram. And then that automatically transfers over to my Facebook because I'm not on Facebook a bunch. And then, through my website. So I'm going to be, I think most of it is going to be just me being interactive. Like you guys were talking about, creating shit through social media and like making fun videos, and like, here's a snippet with some music in the background with a voiceover and me saying, this is one of the recipes in the ebook. You know what I mean? You've seen me. I've made a couple over the last few days. So
one thing that we've always said between us is you are the five people that you surround yourself with. Now, us five won't get fibroids, we won't get that, but we could get, tumors and stuff like that. So, I like what you're all about and where you're going from this. But
also, you guys are all getting a free copy of it. So I would love for you to if at all, at least flip through it. And if you do try something, obviously give me feedback on it so that I can,
Well, what I was going to say is, have you thought about, when we say you're the 5 people that you hang out with, have you spoken to 5 people that have got fibroids? Have you got 5 people that are in the food industry? Have you got 5 people that have just done an ebook out? That's 15 different, not podcasts, but 15 different Instagram lives that you could do there, isn't it? And they've got an audience and stuff like that. People that write books, they've got an audience. Foodies, they've got an audience. There's 3 different types of audiences that you can land yourself into there.
Oh, I like that idea. Well, plus 2, I have connected with the women in that natural healing group. They're women who suffer from fibroids in a private Facebook group. But the whole gist to be able to be a part of the group is it has to be natural healing. It can't be any prescriptions. Because our shit listens to us, right? I was streaming a TV show last night, and a commercial popped up for women suffering from fibroids. And it was one of those names of a prescription that's got a lot of consonants. I couldn't pronounce it for you right now if I wanted to. And I stopped and I looked at it because I heard him say fibroids. And I was like, I stopped and I watched it because I've never seen a prescription for fibroids. Well, they use the term fibroids, but when women have fibroids, not all of them, but a lot of them suffer really painful and heavy periods every month. Thankfully I didn't suffer from that and don't suffer from that. But this prescription drug is basically to moderate their period. So it stifles their period, but you should hear the list of side effects. I was just standing there looking at the TV going, if somebody didn't know better and they didn't give a shit, they would be like, oh my God, I need that. They'd run right to the doctor, get a script, take it, and just, you choose your hard. And they would hope that they didn't get the long slew of really disgusting side effects I'd rather have a heavy period than this fucking side effects. But that's the type of shit I want to inform women on, that you have the power, we all do, to take your health in your own hands. And I really want women, obviously I want them to feel fed. Obviously I want them to be inspired by trying new recipes. I want them to love what they're tasting. I want them to nurture and nourish their body. But I also want them to feel how awesome it feels to take control of your health and your wellness without outside help. Now, we all need outside help sometimes. We all need a prescription for something sometimes. There's exceptions to every rule. But I feel like this has been so empowering for me to see how I can change not only how I feel, but how I look in such a short time. The only reason why I started this fasting thing is because I read about it in a medical journal. And I didn't know if I could be as active as I am. I didn't know if I could be super successful in doing fast over a period of several days. And I've known people to do fasts over a period of days and their breath gets gross. And I'm not trying to fuck my body up in that way. Like I feel like I need food. I do so much movement every day that I thought 16/8 is great. because I'm not eating late at night. I'm not a big breakfast person, so I'm not somebody that charges out of bed and needs to eat breakfast. And I feel like having that window of time to eat food has been really beneficial to my life and my body and my attitude and my sleep, and letting women feel that and feel the, I mean, look at you guys, I'm telling you, tomorrow's been a month and I am just in shock. I've lost 13 pounds in 30 days that I wasn't even trying to lose. And I don't know how much of that was inflammatory issues, but in my gut, I feel like a lot of it was inflammation that I just didn't know that I had. Because I was eating shit that, and this is what I tell people, like I was eating cheese, I was eating it with veggies and shit like that, and I was eating healthy bread. But I do believe that because I was still eating mayonnaise, I was still eating sour cream, I was eating cream cheese and stuff like that. Not a lot of it, but I was still eating it. I have always had my whole life a little bit of lactose intolerance. They told my mom that as a kid. So, but here's the kicker. Never had any digestive issues. So I'm not somebody that, like, if I eat a bowl of ice cream, I'm get the shits. You know what I mean? So I just assumed, well, maybe I don't have lactose intolerance. maybe it's just something they told my mom, you know, another thing a doctor told somebody about some bullshit, and it's not really true. But since I've quit eating all that shit, as I mentioned to you guys on Boxer, I'm not really doing anything much more in the way of exercise. I always exercise every day, but the way my muscles are showcasing on my body, my wrist is small, my face is thinner, like my muscles are super defined in my body. And I'm like, I just started noticing that. I was like, really? I mean, I didn't want to believe that our diet plays such a big role in so many different things outside of the vanity part of it, but I'm a believer now. I really truly am, and I want to share it with everybody.
I must admit, I did notice earlier on that your pectoral muscles are looking more defined there, Harmony.
I know, it's like crazy. I mean, I couldn't believe when I was trying on clothes. I was at the TJ Maxx. I was like, damn, girl. Standing there in my bra and underwear, and I was like,
fantastic. No, I mean, I just love what this is all about, and I'm really, really excited for you there. Are you feeling that you're going to have to put something in the beginning of the book then, like a warning, telling people that, you know, you aren't a doctor, this is just something that you are looking...
I mean, I am, but I'm also not. I'm going to do that just for liability reasons, but that's just feeds to the dumbasses of the planet, like, duh. You know what I mean?
It's just the bullshit that you've got to do, sadly, in this day and age. It's just like, you know, it's like the packaging that you get here in the UK, and I dare say it's like over your way. You buy a packet of peanuts and it says on there, this product may contain peanuts. Well, I fucking hope so. I've just spent £2 on a bag of nuts. I should hope that it's got some nuts in it. But it's just stupid, some of the things that you've got to do these days, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, you really do have to do that just to save yourself getting sued, but it's really kind of, I don't like to cater to dumbasses, but I guess sometimes you have to.
Yeah. Anything you got to say there, Rodney? Anything else that you, or Howard, that you can think of off the top of your head?
I just like, this is what I liked about the hot seat, is that you can see the wheels turning. Harmony, if you go back and watch this, when we're talking to you, you can literally see the wheels turning on the idea. So that's what the hot seat was designed to do.
Yeah, and you know what this whole thing's gonna do is gonna motivate me and excite me. Like, I already feel excited, you know what I mean? And I need that. And I think, as I mentioned earlier, to try something different and to do something different, it's scary. And I am not immune to procrastination in any way, shape, or form. And even if it's on a very, very, very subconscious level, I'm scared to put it out there because, you know, what if everybody's like, this is stupid? You know what I mean? I mean, there's always those fears, and I'm still going to do it, but I definitely have been dragging my feet a little bit. So it was very important for me to be in the hot seat and talk to you guys about this. And, you know, I need somebody to stay on my ass about this, or it'll never happen.
Yeah, you can put some bloopers out there as well, Harmony, when you're cooking something and you end up dropping it on the floor or making a cock up, you know, film it, put it on TikTok, you know, because people want to see your journey, and people will be interested to see how why you've specifically chosen that dish, why you've chosen that, what alterations that you've done to anybody else. And I mean, I don't think that is the case, really. You know, we've all said that, you know, when in an accountability group, you know, people that go up and do talks and podcasts, you know, I could hear Howard talking about something and I could change it and adapt it to me, because people may, you know, Howard's got his audience and I've got my audience, and people might not have heard Howard and they may have heard me. So you don't have to change things completely, but people want to see you because they're your fans, they're your followers and stuff like that. So, you know, it's not a case of you necessarily having to change an old recipe. It's just you're adapting it for you and changing a few little things, aren't you?
Yeah. And two, it's still going to be a balance of a healthy meal, but also with that kind of feeling of comfort food, because I'm a comfort food girl. You know, I always will be. So the food is fun food. Like it's delicious. It's substantial. As I mentioned, it'll satiate your appetite for a longer period of time, because the less nutritional value, Howard knows, the less nutritional value a food you eat has, the sooner you're going to be hungry again. So the meals that I'm making they're dense in a good way, in the sense that you eat it. And I had that cauliflower pizza the other day, and I couldn't eat anything else the rest of the day because it was so filling. And it had such fresh ingredients. It had fresh mozzarella, like, you know, high dollar mozzarella, the ball of mozzarella, not the bullshit in a block. It had fresh goat cheese. It had tomato, fresh basil, fresh roasted tomatoes, fresh jalapenos, fresh portobello mushroom. What else did I put on there? A little bit of red onion. And it was, I mean, again, nothing trumps a good solid slice of pizza, authentic Italian pizza. But if you're trying to do good, this was a close second.
One thing that I have thought about, just, you know, off the top of the cuff here, and that's the good thing about doing these hot seats, is have you thought about going to your local deli or bakers or anything like that and saying, look, I'm doing a book. This is the reason why I'm doing it. You know, I would like to use some of your produce. You know, would you be interested in getting on board and me being able to give you a shout out or anything like that, and going down that route? Because obviously you're giving them some publicity. They can also give you some publicity, and you may even be able to go, and they may even be able to film you doing a recipe in the shop or something like that. But getting your local environment, your local producers to get involved in it at all.
Well, that's interesting you say that, because it's called Smathers Farmers Market. They have it. It's a mile from here every Thursday night. I won't be here this Thursday, but I've been wanting to go and I've not gone yet. And it's just all local farmers, all local people who make homemade cheese and veggies and all the things. That would be awesome to go walk over there and introduce myself to everybody and tell them what I'm doing and give them my business card and see if I can't have them in some way, shape, or form let me buy produce from them and say, hey, give your farm a shout out, and just create a connection, create a community. That's a fabulous idea.
You know, put some flyers in the shop, so when they go and buy the avocados or something like that, there can be a flyer there, and you can be, you know, when you go to the supermarket and you'll buy some beef or something like that, you next to the produce, you'll see a recipe. You know, I don't know whether you have that in the States. There'll be a recipe on how to cook this. You know, when they go into the local shop, they can see a flyer to your book and have a check it out and possibly talk. You know, I just think that would be
a good idea too. Because remember, I was telling Howard to go create business cards and stickers of that very awesome. Is that a fly?
It's a shit fly. You know what shit flies hang around, don't you, Howard?
There's a lot of that in this place, I'll tell you that.
Cows' asses. But yeah, and
it would be a good idea to do, like I was telling him, to get those awesome cards and stickers made of Sammy's adorable shirt that Marta made him, to do maybe like a 5 or 10% off card with all my information on it, discount at the health food store. There's one right downtown, for the book. It's a great idea.
And like, you know, when we go to like Christmas markets here in the UK, you'll walk into the food bit and there'll be somebody giving a talk talk, you know, they'll be there and they'll be cooking a meal or something like that, and there'll be the produce in the background. What's to say that you couldn't go into a deli and cook your produce in the deli and have an open day or just something like that, you know, to get some extra attention to your book, with the people that's producing the produce, you know, and you scratch my back, I scratch your back. It you know, going and speaking to these people, it can't hurt, can it? You're giving them publicity, they can give you publicity.
That's a fabulous idea. And plus, I bet I'd meet a lot of really cool people.
Yeah. It's all
Great
about
ideas.
networking, baby. All about networking, isn't it?
It is. That's exactly right.
Cool.
Look at Martin.
Is there anything at all there, Harmony, that, you know, you're scratching your head and you're struggling that you would like to ask any advice on from us, you know, three simpletons or anybody that's watching?
I think from you guys and anybody watching and anybody's going to watch the replay, I would just love like if you were going to purchase an ebook, what would you want to see in it? Even if it's just one sentence, what do you want to know more about my backstory? Do you want to see, are you interested in having full color photos of the food? And, you know, just if you bought a PDF cookbook or a cookbook in general, what do you want to see? And I'm open to any feedback because I've never done this shit before.
Have you ever heard of a chef in the UK called Jamie Oliver?
Yes, I love him.
He's the naked chef.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Perhaps you could be the America's naked chef
and show off my new improved pectorals.
Sorry, these sex people are coming in again.
Sex people.
Get in contact with Harmony. Drop her an email, and if you've got any advice that you've you know, or any tips or anything you've heard us talk about that you would like to contribute, drop her an email.
Yeah, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I mean, I know it can be intimidating sometimes to reach out to people and give advice, but I'm telling you, I am no good without the people in the audience, people watching me. I'm of no good use without knowing what you want to see me fucking doing, you know? So find me on the Bliss Broker everywhere, blissbroker.com, blissbroker@gmail.com, Instagram Bliss Broker, TikTok Bliss Broker. Like, just come find me and start a conversation with me. I would love that. Go, Howard.
No, I was going to say, in terms of marketing it, you know, you have a podcast, talk about it on your podcast. Also, maybe, I'm sure there's got to be podcasts out there about fibroids. Maybe try to see about getting in a guest on their podcast, leverage their audience. You already are on the Facebook group, maybe like something like Discord or WhatsApp. Maybe there's a fibroids community or forum there that you can join, and then you don't have, you know, probably not cool to join there and say, hey, buy my book, but you can give advice, and then you kind of build your authority, and then people are, no, I have a book. And that's another thing, is maybe have a recipe or two, you may have done this already, that are free. They just got to put in their email address, and then now you've got email addresses.
Opt-in, that's an opt-in.
So now when you release the whole book, now you have an email list to give people to.
Oh, fucking genius.
Conventions for fibroids. Maybe there's like a national convention for fibroids. You can go there and then talk to people like, oh yeah, I've suffered with it. I've had testing. I've confirmed that my fibroids have shrunk with this, you know, using this diet. And then now you have people who are strictly there just because of fibroids. And then now you have a captive audience there.
So I'm going to watch, I always watch our show back afterwards. And so I'm going to take notes on all of this after, when I'm sitting on the couch watching it. I think a lot of what it is that there's a shame associated with fibroids for whatever reason. I don't know if it's because of where they are or people just don't like talking about things like that. But really a lot of it is just getting people to open up about things like that. Like, it's not my fault I have fibroids. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things
that
happen.
Can I just ask, how do people open up? Because this is what I was going to come on to next. What's the easiest way for people to open up about issues in life?
Just hearing other people openly talk about it without any shame. Like,
and to kind of make a little bit of fun out of the situation.
Absolutely.
You could do a cartoon, Harmony and her thyroids. You could name
thyroids.
Them.
No, but you know what I have joked about a lot is, you know, that scene in Spaceballs, Mark probably doesn't, where the dude's laying on the table at the diner and that alien jumps out with the top hat and says, hello, my honey. Hello, my darling. Hello, my ragtime gal. That's what I think about when I feel that they've shrunk now. But like a year ago, I could really feel, it felt very uncomfortable. And my mom, I said, oh God, that's so awkward. Like I can feel that tumor in there. And my mom chimes in and goes, oh, that's weird. that would freak me out. I go, okay, thank you. And then I started envisioning that alien popping out of that dude's stomach. But yes, make jokes about it. I mean, like, it's a thing, it's there. I can't do anything about it like instantaneously, besides getting them to gut me. And I'm not,
I want to see the cartoon. That's what I want to see. Coming or the film, the feature film. You know, no, just all I'm saying is just like, you know, do we all have to be serious about these issues in life? You know, people feel shit that they got these things going on, and a lot of ways that people deal with stress, and that is through humor. And you know, it could be another good way, you know, of dealing with these things. But Lisa says, thankfully mine have shrunk. It was a terrible struggle while I was pregnant. The hormones made them grow along, you know, and grow. But
yeah, they're terribly uncomfortable sometimes for a lot of women. Thank you for sharing that, Lisa. That's, you know, that's awesome that you see. I mean, there's so many people, they grow in your main like baby making years. So between 20 and 40, estrogen is what feeds those. So another thing it's going to be in the book is like, I have learned what, like the foods that estrogen is naturally found in, not only foods, but supplements. And because estrogen feeds those fibroids, obviously those are things that I don't want to put in my body. You know, for example, women fucking love soy milk. It's in fashion to use soy milk, maybe not as much as 5 years ago, but soy milk and soy in general is a large source of estrogen. And, you know, men and women alike probably don't know that. And so they're taking things and they're eating things that has soy that's feeding their body with estrogen, and they don't even know, you know?
I think is a fact as well that, you know, 2022, we are all as a world looking at the food that we're eating and being a little bit more cautious. And, you know, for the last 20 or 30 years, we've been in a situation where everything we've been doing is to make things easier. You know, since microwaves were born, people have been getting microwave meals, and people are now discovering that shit's not good for you. And we listened to the Joe Rogan episode where they were talking about the amount of plastics that was in food, the amount of plastics that we contain, that men's
tiny taints.
Yeah, and how men's penises are shrinking and all this size.
And miscarriages.
And miscarriages and stuff like that. And I think people are now, you know, more readily available watching scientists on YouTube and stuff like that. And I think people are getting more cautious on the shit that they're eating. So,
well, not only that, but Roundup. There's so many people that I know that suffer from eczema and rosacea and so many skin irritations, and they think it's just something they got genetically from Papa or something like that. And you know, they've now, you know, as Rogan said the other day in that episode, that 32 countries have, as of many years ago, rid and outlawed Roundup. And here we are as fucking Americans, got to get her done, still spraying everything fucking down. And so the majority, I don't care if it's organic or not, the majority of the things that are found, including packaged pre-sliced bread that can appear to be really healthy, has got fucking Roundup in it. And I think what a large connection that they're making is that, you know, people's gluten sensitivities and being celiac and things like that, that over all these years that we've been taking in all these chemicals from, you know, water runoff from fields or whatever it's from, or just the shit in our food, or heating something up in a plastic container in your microwave and letting that leach into your food. People don't think about that. And most people are like, ah, fuck it, I don't care. Well, you don't care until everybody and your brother's got cancer, or everybody and your brother's got some kind of skin irritation, or they've got IBS, or they've got fucking lethargy, or they've got chronic migraines. Like, I don't think people really, they are now, they're starting to associate a lot of those things with what they are fucking ingesting. You know,
what is quite scary is, and I was saying this to Nikki there the other day, is that it wasn't that long ago. It was like, you know, probably 20, 30 years ago that, all of a sudden butter was a terrible thing to eat and you have to start eating margarine. And now people realize that margarine is really, really bad for you. And we're going back to eating butter and that. And, you know, going back 20, 30 years ago, I remember being in school and talking about, you know, 1 in 5 of us will get cancer. Now it's down to 1 in 2 of us. And then that's in the space of like, you know, not very long at all. And that is the worrying aspect of all of this lot, is that, you know, it is gradually, and not just cancer, lots of other things, but, you know, you are what you eat. And that it's great that I think that we're all looking at ourselves and making improvements. We talked about leveling up there last week. Every one of us in this group now are leveling up and looking at what we're eating and exercising more and just feeling a little bit better about themselves. And, you know, I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, environment. She's saying she's a combination. I guess she genetically has people in her family. Lisa, her comment says a combination of both. I'm genetic mutant mutant, but I'm definitely scared of environmental factors. Yeah, all of that stuff. And I think if you're intentionally trying to do good with what you eat and drink and all those things, and you're shooting yourself in the foot because you're not educated or you're following the masses, that to me is where I get irritated, because not everybody's going to do the research. You know what I mean? So that's something I definitely want to share in the ebook, is like the benefits, like Howard was saying, share the benefits of these things. Now, for example, if I drink a shot of bourbon, well, I know that's toxic and I know that's poison, and I can go into that, 20/20 vision. I know it's a bad decision. But when people are justifiably trying to make really good health decisions and they're really not, again, that's where knowledge is power. And this is just not about fibroids. Fibroids are tumors. I still have to have them biopsied. I had them biopsied a couple months ago, and there was, there's a cluster of cells in there that they have to watch, which they call, I think, is it hyperplasia, something like that, that can potentially turn into a tumor, something cancerous. So I'll just keep getting that biopsied. But obviously I have the power to reverse that depending on what I eat. And as I mentioned, you guys need to watch that sugar film. I can't say it enough. It is so fucking good. But one of the things I learned from that movie is when you go into the doctor's office and they want to see your tumor and they want to highlight your tumor, they inject it with sugar. Sugar is one of the biggest culprits for feeding tumors and things like that. And I think that, it's all kind of common sense stuff, but I guess as I get older, I want to serve my body. And I also am very aware of that. Yes, genetically, you can have a lot of shit in the background, but the large majority of what you end up getting sickness wise is in your daily choices. And any good doctor will tell you that.
One thing I've noticed as well is that bread. It does it for me. If I cut out the amount of bread in my diet, I just straight away the next day see my belly shrink. I feel a lot better in myself. It's like what Rogan was saying about pasta. We've all got foods that zap us. And one thing that I am going to be concentrating on, because it's something that I've noticed with my running, is that I'm going to try and rather than say, right, dinner, tea, breakfast, I'm going to eat when I feel like I want to eat. Why do we feel that we have to have breakfast? We have to have lunch. We have to have an evening meal.
Because we're sheep and we're carrying on tradition of what everybody's always done.
Why can we not just eat when our body tells us to eat? When your belly starts rumbling and you feel hungry, that is when it's time to eat. If you only eat once or twice a day, why do you have to eat it's 10 o'clock, I must have a cup of coffee? Or do you know what I mean? Or it's 11 o'clock, must have me 11sies. Or it's
that's all time. Old, like that whole breakfast does the body good, the fucking American food pyramid, how milk does the body good. No, it doesn't. If you're over the age of 2, you don't need to be fucking consuming milk. It makes people pussy. It makes them snotty. It makes them bloated. It makes them look like phlegmy. In women can cause really chronic vaginosis and yeast infections. And I just think that there's people out there chugging shit and eating shit that they don't need. And again, they're not paying attention to how they feel when they eat something. So that's why I mentioned in Voxer, it's something that really helped me. It was painfully true, because there's a lot of things that I had to eliminate, like that I love, like mayonnaise. I will slap some fucking mayonnaise on some bread. I mean, I don't mess around with mayonnaise. It's one of my favorite things to eat, but I also feel like shit after I eat it.
Well, there we go. There we are, people. That's the first person in the hot seat this week. And Harmony, thank you very much for coming on there and sharing that. Who are you putting forward for the hot seat next week?
Let's do Rodney.
We're going to do Rodney. Rodney's going to step in the hot seat next week, and we can have a good chat to Rodney and find out a little bit more about what's going on in his life. But I feel that we've achieved quite a bit with you there today, Harmony.
I'm excited. Yeah, and I'll be coming to you live from Charleston next week. I'll be in Charleston, but I'll definitely be on the call.
And it wasn't as drastic as what I thought it was going to be, to be honest with you. At no point did we have that shit kicking off.
You need to next week, because you know how I am with like my opinions.
Oh, wait a minute! Don't do that when I'm on the hot seat.
Depends on what you say. What are you coming at me with?
Anyway, thank you very much for joining us, Harmony, Rodney. Howard had to leave because he had to go and pick up Sammy. He just sent me a private message, or sent us a private message, and said that he had to nip off. So apologies there if he disappeared. But thank you very much for joining us once again. Harmony, do you want to tell the world where they can find us?
Yes, at official5deep on Instagram and official5deep@gmail.com. Please reach out and let us know what you want to talk about. If you want to be a guest on the show, like just talk to us, damn it.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to this podcast, you people that are watching us on YouTube.
Thank you.
We want to get our listeners and followers up, and we want to start talking about loads and loads of interesting things there. Nonconformist has said that was a really good episode. All the best with the ebook there, Harmony.
Thank you so much
for listening, and we shall end with a bit of this. Cheerio, people.
Bye.